Indiana recently became the second state after North Dakota to ban abortion if the fetus has been diagnosed with a disability such as Down syndrome. So the bill was signed into law by Governor Mike Pence, who claimed that the bill was a comprehensive pro-life measure that affirms the value of all human life. So in addition to it being illegal for a woman to seek an abortion if her child has been diagnosed with some kind of disorder, they are also not able to receive an abortion in issues of sex or the race of the fetus. Essentially, what it's trying to do is to prevent discriminatory selective abortions, but of course it's received quite a bit of controversy there. What do you think, just off the bat of hearing about this?
Well, I think this is just a step towards making it flat out illegal to have an abortion in Indiana sometime in the future. You got to take baby steps.
Wink, wink. Oh, sad. Yeah, so Pence, just to give you an idea, so this gentleman is in the midst of a re-election campaign, and even though he's been a staunch opponent of abortion in the past, it seems also pertinent considering he is relying on a strong turnout from social conservatives in order to maintain his seat. So I do think that there are politics involved there. He's recently, or in the past, has championed efforts to cut federal funding to Planned Parenthood, and for this particular provision, it prohibits a provider from knowingly performing an abortion sought because of a diagnosis or potential diagnosis of the fetus having a Down syndrome and a disability. So the clinics would have to ask a woman why she wants an abortion. Ordinarily, if she just said, didn't give a reason, then she would be able to receive that abortion. But if she says, oh, my child has this potentially fatal disorder, that's why they'll say no.
So couldn't you then theoretically lie about it and just make up another excuse? I can't afford it, or,
Right. I mean, I think in that regard, that's why it's just another step to hinder people's rights. Because also part of this bill might make Indiana the first to require that the remains of an abortion have to be cremated as opposed to be treated with as medical waste. So that not only incurs more costs for abortion clinics, but a lot of opponents say that it also shames women, if you're treating them like...
And it also highlights, well, look at what these people want at these abortion clinics. They want to sell them off for baby parts, right? And they want to do research with these babies, with these humans. Well, they want to draw more attention to that, hoax of the fact that Planned Parenthood basically uses these fetuses as a way to make money, and they're selling the body parts of these babies. It's obviously not the way it goes down, and I'm not saying that doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen the way that they're saying it does.
Well, and the doctored videos from Planned Parenthood, even though those have all been debunked, I think they did a lot of damage because a lot of people are not... They're not hearing the fact that they have been debunked. So I think a lot of people are looking, that's why the requiring remains to be cremated, really treating them as, as people, which is the whole idea. And I understand that it's a very divisive issue, but I think the fact that just making more costs for abortion providers or women, I don't think is the way to solve this problem. I mean, it costs, without insurance, it's somewhere around $20,000 in this country to have a child. When you talk about that, and then let's say someone is going to have a child that has a disability, you're really talking about the financial burden, and I know that gets a little bit dicey, but I think there's a lot that goes into an already horribly difficult decision for a woman to make.
Yeah, disability or not, whatever the case is, conservatives want to come out and proudly call this the freest country in the world. They'll always throw out words like liberty, freedom, right? But at the same time, they'll be the first people to tell women what they can and cannot do with their own bodies. The government will step in and tell a woman what she can and cannot do with her body.
Then they like big government.
One of the most basic rights in a lot of other progressive countries. A lot of conservative countries want to take us back and make us less progressive. It's just sad because of their own ideologies. That's what I don't like, that you want to impose your own ideologies on everybody. That sounds a lot like the countries that you'll be quick to scrutinize in the Middle East, for example. So.
Well, and yeah, I mean, so Elizabeth Nash, who tracks issues for the Guttmacher Institute, it's a reproductive rights group, she was commenting on the fact that it is very unconstitutional. Because the bill was passed just recently, nobody has necessarily come out or challenged it within the Supreme Court. But she does say that it's unconstitutional since up until this point, the Supreme Court has never required a woman to give a reason why. So the fact that clinics are now going to have to ask women why and then kind of determine whether or not they're able to get an abortion, it becomes a very tricky issue. So we will see how this pans out. But to me, this is just the next step in an ongoing battle for reproductive rights.